Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, welcome to another video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Aicha and I love to paint very much. I'm a self-taught artist and I'm here to share my art journey with you all and all the things I've learned along this journey. So what we're going to do today is to paint a galaxy. So I was thinking about what I can do, what I can teach beginner watercolor artists, and mind you, I'm not a professional myself, and I was just practicing, and this idea just came up to me and I was like, this is a perfect practice for beginners. I believe galaxies are a very fun way, a very fun reference where you can practice watercolor. You can grasp, you can understand how water works and how paint flows with it. I am using Fabriano as my watercolor pad, and I'm using Van Gogh's watercolor set. You can also see the brush I'm using. It is Colibri. I do not know how to pronounce it. I just bought it from a local shop, so I don't even know if it's like an international brand. I have no idea. But anyways, if you want to take a look at my supplies, I'll just link everything down below. Alright, now, watercolor paint is transparent. It's not like acrylics, it is not like oil paints, which are very much opaque. And if I were to paint this exact reference, this exact galaxy with acrylic paints, the first thing I'd do would be to cover up the whole canvas with black paint. The canvas, the paper, whatever surface you're using, to cover it all up. And then I'd add the pinks, the purples, the funky colors on my surface. But with watercolors, the process differs. And how so? Like I said before, watercolors are transparent. I need a clean surface, a white surface, to really just pop out those pinks, purples, blues, whatever colors you're gonna use on your galaxy. We want all those funky colors to stand out against all that black, against all that darkness. But what happens if I don't do that, right? What happens if I don't apply my paint on a clean surface? Well, it is called watercolor for a reason, because it is actuated by water itself. So when you try to apply your, let's say, pink on the black surface, what happens is that black surface will get reactivated by your wet brush. Your bright and beautiful pink will turn into a dark and muddy one, and we don't want that, okay? Okay, so keep all those in mind, what I just said, because you're gonna need all the information when it comes to painting a watercolor painting in general. Let's say you want to paint a landscape. Now, if I was working with acrylics, you know what I'd do? Let's just imagine a scenery where we have a blue, beautiful sky, clouds, let's have a mountain, and before that mountain, let's have a lake. And on the lake, let's have some frogs, okay? I'd start with the sky first, and then I'd add the clouds on the sky, because acrylics are very opaque and the white paint will cover up all the blue beneath it. And then I'd put the mountain, and I'd put the lake, then the frogs, just starting off with the farthest thing, and eventually coming up to the front, to the closest thing that I can see in my reference. In other words, I would not follow these steps with watercolor paint. As you can see from the video, I am using a lot of water, and that is where your paper choice, your sketch pad choice comes in really handy. I definitely suggest you buy a watercolor pad specifically designed for watercolors, okay? There are also mixed media pads out there, I know, and they're also good. I use one, but be careful when it comes to the weight of the paper. Something around 300 grams would be good enough for you. The heavier the paper, the less it's going to get wrinkled. So one of the great things about watercolor is that according to the amount of water you use, you're going to be able to get different effects. There are various techniques that you can use when it comes to watercolor painting, such as wet on wet, or the dry brush technique, or just creating washes. And I will be talking about all of these techniques in another video, hopefully. And using these techniques really enhance your painting. Using a good amount of water will help you blend all those colors in together. I am sorry about that random dog barking. And you really need those colors to blend in together because you're painting a galaxy. Gonna give you a little tip. Put your paper up in an angle so that the water can also flow with the help of the gravity. I can't really do that myself because I'm recording a video, but it really makes your painting a lot more interesting. Watercolor can be a little bit intimidating, a little tricky for beginners, because honestly, it's really hard to control water. Practice is always the key. I'd like to add something for my Turkish viewers. I made a video comparing Faber-Castell and Van Gogh watercolor sets. If you're just starting out watercolor, or if you've been doing watercolor for a while, but you don't know what to get, maybe my video can give a little insight about what you can buy. Just comparing the prices and the quality of each paint set, so don't forget to check that out. Well, we're almost finished with the painting, but there's one last thing to do, and that is to add those shiny little stars. For that, I'm gonna be using white acrylic paint and an old brush. We're gonna be flicking that paint with our finger, so you know the tip of your brush might get all over the place. So I just advise you use an old brush. And one last thing to mention is that the amount of water you use on your brush will dictate the size of your stars. The less water you use, the smaller sizes your flicks, your stars will be. And the more water you use on your brush, the bigger the size of the stars will get. Well, that was it. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. I want to be able to make more videos, better videos, and every little thing you do really helps. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me in the comments, or you can just DM me on Instagram. All of my social media links are down below. I'm also open to new video ideas, so if you have any ideas, please share it with me, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.